Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today what we need to address is in regards to the Xbox Series S and its power performance and its longevity into the current gen situation and what we could be looking at for the rest of this generation and what that means for third-party games in general as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what I'm going to go over here is in regards to the Xbox Series S and again, its longevity into the current gen situation, if not further than that. So what we have, let's just start right here, is we have a smaller, weaker, digital-only system, right? This system, regardless of what's been going on, you can have the Cold Eastwoods out there, you can have the dealers, you can have everybody else. Jez Corden of, Windows Central helping write some articles and stuff. And you have the key phrases like, RDNA2, what does that mean? Super sampling and streaming with the super sampling, and what does that mean? And all these keywords and phrases that make it seem like this is a system that can keep up or do well enough to give you everything you're looking for out of that particular game or out of that system in general. I do think that, we'll start off by stating that I do think the Series S is a capable machine to do its basic functionalities, which is play at least the newest games out there, right? And competently. They can do that. But as we continue to go, as most of us do know, technology changes at a rapid rate. Every couple years or so, it just keeps jumping that bar, jumping that ladder, climbing it. And the same with everything else of how that molds and how that works with these new games, and these developers want to push these games to the limit. But the problem that I'm seeing here, or that I think that will happen, is the fact that we're going to see some bottlenecking or some non-parity issues with the Series S version. And I know some of you out there probably saying, well, duh, it's a weaker system, right? Yeah, you're right. It is a weaker system. It should be kind of a duh kind of thing, but you got a lot of the, Xbox, not fanboys, because I think fanboys can be sane and can have good points, and it's just a preference of platform. So what I'm going to call this going forward is the Xbox eccentrics, not even the Xbots, or we'll say Sony ponies or whatever. We're going to say for each side of it, whether it's Nintendo's instead of Nintendo drones, we're just going to call people Sony fanatics, Xbox fanatics, or Nintendo fanatics, right? Or PC master racers, whatever. But the fact is, you got the fanatics, the eccentrics, I would say, that go above and beyond, and they latch onto these key words thinking that this system can do more than what it's capable of, and it is the developer's fault that it's not able to achieve ray tracing with 60 to 120 frames per second on multiple third-party games. First-party games are okay. I think that you can work directly, obviously, within the tools of your confines there and making something happen. But with all that said, what I'm circling around to essentially is I think for the third-party games in general, what's going to happen, like I mentioned, is you're going to see a lot more bottlenecking. You're going to see a lot less, superfluous controls or ray tracing or frames per second or loading or just, textures and everything that you want out of a game because you went that route, which is fine. And if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. But it's going to be really bottlenecked. It's going to be interesting how it kind of keeps up. We see this in instance with the Switch, right? Nintendo Switch. We've needed a Pro or the next iteration for the next generation of a Nintendo console or hybrid or whatever for some time now. That's an issue. You see a lot of the games that are playable, but a lot of those, let's take Kingdom Hearts 3 for instance, where yeah, it's a demanding game to a point, but not that much. But it can only be streamed to the Switch. A game like Kingdom Hearts can only be streamed to the Switch. So your hardware is very, very essential to the fact that you need the most you can out of that game. You buy a game expecting you to play it with some sort of competency level of, having enough frames, having enough textures, so you're not feeling like things are popping in and taking you out of the experience and just having all these issues, right? And that's where we're at with the Switch right now. That's why, at any time and point, we're going to be having a leak or something to where we're getting that next Nintendo platform. So that's on the horizon, I know that. But that's going to leave the Series S in the weakest position going forward. And we're going to have a lot of issues with that. You're going to super sampling or RDNA2 or any of these other keywords you want to throw out there, it's not going to be able to hold up. And so my point being on top of that is the fact I feel bad for those of you out there that did go and purchase this or did sink, $299.99 at the time, where now you can probably get this $20, $30 off, if not for $250 plus tax, depending where you're at, US dollars or whatever it translates to into your currency. But it's still, you're getting that, and then you're getting the proprietary storage, which now they're starting to come out with other third-party storage, drives that you can put in there finally for a little bit cheaper than what you were getting. But, this whole time, if you invested in that ecosystem right now, you paid the $299.99, you paid the $200 plus, if not $250 plus, for these special Seagate, memory sticks that you insert into the console themselves. You're spending just as much as you could if you went ahead and just got a 500 gigabyte Series X, so they kind of, in my opinion, kind of blanketed some stuff there and weren't super truthful. And obviously as a business, you're not going to be, I get it, it's a business, but it's just really underhanded. Hey, here's a $299 console. By the way, there's really not a lot of room on this, and it's digital only. There's not a lot of room on this, guys. So you're going to have to get that proprietary, Seagate drive that's an obscene amount, because we saw what happened with the PS Vita proprietary memory cards, and that was its downfall, essentially. But you have all that wrapped up into the system that you spent quite a bit of money on. And now you're into this ecosystem. You're probably subscribing to Game Pass. You're trying out all this stuff. So you more than likely, you probably got that proprietary memory card, put that to use, but then you're worried about bottlenecking as well. Are you getting it? Is these games are becoming more demanding, and you're getting options with these games to have, 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 or 120 frames per second with ray tracing or whatever. This console, yes, it may not be for you, but maybe for the casuals out there, they don't understand what they're getting into. This system is advertised as I can play any game I want to from Game Pass and have a great time. You might be able to right now. You might be able to do any indie game you want out there, or a less demanding game that you have out there for quite some time. But eventually this is going to be so obsolete that it's going to be an issue. And then I also feel like with the bottlenecking, it's creating issues. And here's where the first party part comes in for Microsoft is you're constantly having to spend more time and resources in order to make that as fluent as possible onto that Series S model. So you're taking away time and resources that you could be using to implement and getting the most power out of your Series X, which is a very powerful console, as well as maybe some other, PC aspects of the games that translate over there or anything else you want to allocate those resources to. You're now having to put all that effort, time, money, everything else into the Series S. And then obviously as time goes on, those third-party developers that are AAA third-party developers are going to be like, yo, we're not going to really spend a lot of time with the Series S here because we're selling most of our software on the PlayStation and Nintendo consoles, if it is available for Nintendo as well, where everybody's kind of, what's the word we're looking for here? Kind of herded towards the Game Pass model, right? In a way of conditioning of, hey, just rent your games, go to your subservice. You're going to do that, that's fine. but they're going to focus more on the consoles that are making more money, not the upfront, hey, Microsoft gives you X amount of money for this third-party deal to be on Game Pass for an X amount of time, right? We're looking at the fact that we're having issues here, and they're going to focus on the software that sells the most on certain platforms. That's the problem. So I do see that there is going to be some severe bottlenecking. I do see severe changes going forward in the future, and I know obviously the Series S is going to be selling for some time, at least on the market. So for those out there, I just kind of want to, in a way, be an advice giver to maybe hold off, save up another $100 if you can, and either get yourself a Series X if you can save up enough for it instead, or get yourself a PlayStation 5 physical or digital, where that's only $399. But if you are a big fan of Game Pass, I would suggest saving up for a Series X and saving yourself further issues down the road. You don't have to get a proprietary memory card. I have made 500 gigabytes work very well for a lot of games. You know, your top 2 to 3 games you can have downloaded, if not more, and readily available. And then if you need to delete one to make room for something new, then you can do that and make use of it and not have to spend that money for that. But the small 256 that you have on the Series S can certainly be a problem, and it's almost a necessity to go ahead and have to get that proprietary memory card that only Xbox can give you via Seagate, and now soon the WD Blacks and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. I just kind of want to be that information giver there, but I also want to know what everybody else out there thinks as well as far as future. We all know, like I said, tech changes all the time, and the devs are always looking to push themselves and push the boundaries of their own games. They put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that, and they don't want to be held back by other platforms if they don't have to, if it doesn't make sense for them. So just kind of wanted to share that, but like I said, I would love to hear from your thoughts and opinions below about this video today. We'll wrap it up for now. I appreciate everybody's time. We are at 430 subscriptions out of 500, so I really appreciate that. All the support, as usual, everybody that has done that. If you haven't already, definitely like and comment like I just mentioned. And if you would be so kind, consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. So without further ado, let's have you have the rest of your day back, and we'll see you guys next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.